Greetings, free thinkers. Welcome to the Hoggcast. How are you doing today? I hope you're doing fine. I certainly am. Okay, what do we have for you on today's episode? We have 2 clips to watch today. It's been ages since we've done 2 clips, or more than 1 clip anyway. Now, the 2 clips have to do with the authorities, the police. One in Canada, one here in Britain. Now, we all back, if you're conservative, you back the blue. Usually you back the blue, you understand there has to be authority in a civilized society, but it's when they overstep it that it becomes hard in these highly polarized times we live in to continue to back the blue when they don't back, they've stopped backing us. Right, in a polarized society, you have to pick a side, right? That's the way it seems to be going now. Trying to choose my words carefully, of course. Now, the first clip we have is of a church here in Britain where they're having an Easter service and the police rush in to shut it down. They wouldn't do that in a mosque, but you don't need me to tell you that anyway. And the second one in Canada is of them having a march. The police aren't stopping the march, but they're rushing in to do targeted arrests in which they fine people $1,500 which they don't have because they haven't been able to work, for not having correct face coverings or having a face covering that's not even on correctly, as you're going to see. So let's get into these clips now, but if you haven't yet, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell and share the video around. There is social media links down below. There's the little icon buttons, it will just allow you to share it instantly, and that really helps try and combat the algorithm that punishes YouTube's own independent creators. So without further ado, let's go. Okay, so first to the church in the Easter service.
Ladies and gentlemen, this gathering is unfortunately unlawful under the coronavirus regulations we have currently. You are not allowed to meet inside with this many people under law. At this moment in time, you need to go home. Failure to comply with this direction to leave and go to your home address ultimately could lead you to be fined £200, or if you fail to give your details, to you being arrested. I suggest, ladies and gentlemen, though it is Good Friday and I appreciate you would like to worship, that this gathering is unlawful. So please may you leave.
Then you notice that they never did this, right? This has been in force for ages. Let me tell you something. When they had Ramadan, that's the Muslim holiday, last time here in Britain last year, the police were nowhere to be seen. If this continues, they will have Ramadan again at some point this year. They'll be nowhere to be seen. This is getting to the heart of why society in the West is fractured and hyperpolarized, because the laws which are created and seem to be wholly arbitrary are applied to one group of people but not to another. The standard is never kept, and the only excuse you get is, and it's always the same excuse, and this excuse is like a white brush at my spine. They'll say, well, it's different. That's the only excuse you get. Why Christians are not allowed to meet in groups inside, but Muslims are. Well, it's different. You get that all the time. Everything from this to affirmative action to you name it. Anything to do with the collapse of society, the culture war, anything like that, where 2 different standards are applied to 2 different people, you will always hear them say, well, it's different. They'll never tell you why it's different. They'll just tell you it is different. We live in an age now where explaining things, explaining why something is either supremacy or it's any other ism, ist or obic. They'll say, oh, well, that's colonial thinking. I don't need to explain it to you. It just is because I say it is. Trust the science. You don't want to kill grandma, do you? I mean, it's Good Friday. Are these people harming anyone? Right? Are they harming anyone? There are large parts of urban Britain that is full of gangs, drug dealers, violent crimes going through the roof, yet they go to where the problem is not. That's a problem now, another problem, and it is related to the problems I've mentioned previously with modern society, which is a collapsing society. Society is collapsing. And I don't mean to be alarmist when I say that. I mean, it just feels like it, right? If you look around, things seem to be going downhill and fast. But they go to where the problem is not. They've been doing that for a long time. If the problem is here, over here, they will go over there and they'll say, no, I can't see nothing. There's no problem here. That must be misinformation. I can't see nothing. Because they're looking in that direction when they should be looking in that direction, right? And that's what they're doing here. These people aren't harming anyone. They're not a threat to anyone. They're Christians in a church on Good Friday. One day. First it was 14 days to stop the spread. That's turned into over a year. The Christian community has been the most tolerant community out of all. They've stayed out the churches. They've done everything you asked them to do. But on just one day, you couldn't give them one day. You could not give them one day. Which is all the more aggravating because I was under the impression Britain's coming out, England especially. Can't speak for the other three nations that make up Great Britain, but England, we've been told we're coming out of these lockdown measures. So, is this necessary? I hope he feels bad for himself, that police officer. I hope he thinks, is this really what I joined the police to do? Maybe he got a kick out of it. Yeah, I shut that church down. How good is that? I hope that if that's what you became a police officer to do, you need to look within yourself and ask yourself, is that the right thing? Anyway, now let's move on to Canada. Okay, so this is the march. People are marching. The police aren't stopping the march, but what they're doing is they're rushing into the crowd to grab people who either don't have face coverings or they have face coverings on, but they're not applied, quote, correctly. So they haven't explained to them why they're doing it. They never spoke to them, never used reason. It was just boom, straight in to take them. Now they both have masks. The woman hasn't got hers on now. It's down below her face. The man had his on, but just weren't on correctly. Is this the correct response? A proportional response to this? So there's a woman out walking a dog. So this woman out walking her dog, she has no mask on. See, how hard is it to continue to support the police when they do things like this? How hard is it, really? It is hard, isn't it? For me, it is. It's like they've lost all sense of proportionality. It's like they've lost all sense of what is right and what's wrong. It's been replaced with propaganda and ideology. That woman who was out, she wasn't even a part of the march. She was out walking her dog. She weren't bothering anyone. She was not bothering anyone. Wouldn't you put a mask on the dog? Would that make you feel better if we put the mask on the dog? So look, she's just walking a dog. She's just walking her dog. What harm is she doing to anyone? What risk or threat is she to anyone? If she really was the threat, and anyone who's not wearing a mask, if they're really the threat you say they are, why are you approaching them without fear? Why are you rushing up to them and touching them with no fear whatsoever? See, stop and think about it critically. See, I don't think these police officers are capable of doing that. I think they're dumb. I think they're stupid. I really do. And I don't back the blue anymore. I don't think so. It's hard. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I used to be 100% behind back the blue. 100%. And then I saw things like this, and slowly my faith and my loyalty started to crumble. Whenever you get the people who are defund the police and they go around breaking windows and looting stores and all that type of thing, these are guys are nowhere to be seen. They just stand there in a line with their shields, protecting themselves from the rocks that get thrown at them, and so on and so on. But then when Conservatives go for a walk, these people all descend. The thing is, they know that the Conservatives are the final group of people that have their back. The final group of people that support them. They know they're the last group. Yet, because they're the easiest, because they support them, because Conservatives support the police, they are the easiest, therefore the de facto easiest to arrest. They put up no resistance, and so on and so on. That's why the police officer in England turned up at the church instead of the mosque, because it's easiest. They no longer enforce laws based on what's right or wrong. They enforce laws based on who's the easiest to control. That's what they do now. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. The clip's almost at an end anyway. They just cut off this poor woman. Disgusting, really. It's just, I hope they stop and think. There's so many things that have happened over the last year that they need to stop and think. And I don't think not once have they ever stopped and asked themselves, are they doing the right thing? Because they're turning everyone against them. Everyone. This is supposed to be the West. People flee to the West for a reason. But it looks like that reason's disappearing. It really does. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Thank you very much for watching. If you haven't yet, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell and share the video around. That'll help me stay competitive with the mainstream media that get promoted algorithmically, and we get demoted algorithmically. So that would really help. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.